welcome to Startup Central. I'm Nayan Rai. Another day, another unicorn. Today, it is the turn of Groww, which has raised $83 million from a clutch of investors led by the mighty Tiger Global. Others that have participated also include Sequoia Capital, Ribbit Capital, YC Continuity, and Propel Ventures. Joining me, the man behind Groww, the co-founder, CEO, Lalit. Lalit, big congratulations. It's a check of $83 million from some of the biggest investors in the world when it comes to the startup universe. I believe you've entered the coveted Unicorn Club as well. How does it feel?
Funding is always like a means to achieve something, right? It comes with a lot of responsibility, more expectations. So it feels like, you raise so much capital. So it feels like, okay, there are more people who believe in your vision, who have a lot of conviction. But now it's all on us to kind of achieve those, those goals that we have set for ourselves.
Okay, so this is a milestone to reach another milestone. We'll get to all of that in just a bit. Now, Lalit, you often say that you started Groww to pretty much democratize investment. What will you do with this $83 million to achieve that dream?
So there are, I would put this into mainly three buckets, Nayantara. So one bucket is about expanding into new product areas. So over the last 4.5 years, we have launched mutual funds, stocks, ETF, gold, IPO, and now a bunch of other products we are launching. So idea is basically for our investor, for our customer, everything that they want to invest in should be available on Groww. So that is one bucket. Second bucket is to build this. We need team, right? We need a kick-ass team to kind of keep growing and keep building this. And the third bucket, what we say is the thing that we have always believed in since the start is education. We have invested a lot over the last many years. We have invested a lot in educational initiatives, and we'll continue to do that.
I want to ask you one question. This $83 million check that you have got in a round led by Tiger. Help me understand what's going on in the startup universe this week. You're a veteran when it comes to the startup space. You've been around for a while. On Monday, we saw Meesho enter the Unicorn Club at a $2 billion plus valuation. Tiger was one of the investors. On Tuesday, it was Cred, another unicorn that almost trebled its valuation to $2 billion plus. Again, Tiger was an investor. Today, we have you on the show, Groww, which has got this check of $83 million. Once again, Tiger is an investor. Can you help us understand what's going on?
Not wise enough or not old enough to kind of comment on it. In general, I believe that in India, we are doing great. Like startups have matured a lot, and a lot of respect for all the names that you called out. They have innovated in their own ways and build something amazing. And also, like, these are not like stories of the past where there were a lot of, there is something significant that these folks have built. So I think overall, a lot of respect for Indian entrepreneurs and thinking big in the country.
Fair enough. Now, I believe you have 1.5 crore users on the Groww platform. 2020 would have been a big year. 2020 is when a lot of plans got accelerated simply because everything had to be digitized. Going forward, what are the plans?
Going forward, few things don't change at all. Like, you continue building things for your customer. There's if we look at the number of products that we have to launch, there's a long list. So we continue heads down, continue building that, continue your user education, continue with hiring a kick-ass team for building all these things. What changes is, okay, now with capital, you can do it faster. You have more resources. It's like somebody said in startup ecosystem, it's like buying tools for your mission, right? So you get a lot more tools for yourself to kind of get onto that mission.
So you're going to pay a lot more attention, from what you're telling me, is in investor education and financial literacy. Lalit, are you going to do this as a segment of your business which you can monetize, or are you looking to do this also to grow the market, and then from there, as a smart businessman, you get to profit?
See, both actually. So market growth is very important. So if you look at the penetration today, right, when we started also, like that's what primarily attracted us. So if we are such a large country, and if you look at equity penetration, mutual fund penetration, any financial product penetration, it's very low. So both needs to go side by side. And because we are like a DIY platform, so education becomes our responsibility. And you're making everything simple and transparent. And it's your also responsibility to make people understand, okay, what are they, what are they getting into, and so on. We have done a lot of programs over last, so Up India Karega Invest, last time we spoke about Growth 5, we started. We are doing Grow Academy. We are like doing a lot of content through videos, articles, and so on, right? I think a lot of users were, so our content would have reached maybe, let's say, 50 million customers, right? Not all of them are my customers, but at least they got to know about Grow and they got to learn something, right?
Oh, absolutely. So the entire ecosystem then stands to benefit. But is the figure right that you have 1.5 crore users? Can you tell us a little bit about the consumer behavior that you've also noticed since the outbreak of the pandemic?
Yes, absolutely. So what we have seen over last 1 year is, so some few things did not change. So although we kind of look at pandemic is very vivid, right? There's very short term kind of, we can see it, but the trend actually started in 2015-16, where a lot of new things came, UPI, Aadhaar. So the trend has been like overall growth phase since then. Pandemic escalated that even further. So some of the interesting things were like, okay, mutual funds have been growing since then, but and both equity stock demat accounts have also been growing. But in pandemic, there were a lot more demat accounts that were open. Stock, a lot of new investors in stock investing, stock market investing that got into it, and still we are seeing that, continue to see that growth overall industry wide, right? A lot of free time with people, a lot of savings also, right? For people who are working from home, and a lot of people are working from their hometowns, and they save a lot on rents, they save a lot on other expenses that are like, again, we'll start spending. But overall, that saving also helped, time helped, and then of course, a lot of awareness. See, I see ETF on your desk as well.
It's also a year where you... Yes, you do. It's also a year, 2020, where we saw this phenomenon in the United States. I'm talking about GameStop. I'm talking about the power of Reddit. And you talk about democratizing investors. Is that your vision, to have something like that in India?
No, so it's different here. So see, Indian markets are very, very, very nicely regulated, a lot more investor protection in place. What the kind of education that what we believe is in, like, treating company like businesses, thinking about long-term investing, doing SIPs for long-term, having goals for your investments, not to be carried by fear or greed, or not to kind of listen to tips or not to give tips, right? Kind of more long-term oriented, more business-like investing than than based on tips and so on. So and like kind of irrationalities will continue happening in stock markets. But being said that, there are a lot more protections and a lot more checks and balances in place by our regulators in the country today.
How has the journey been? What kind of a market share do you enjoy? Because it is a space where you're seeing mushrooming of startups. You're also seeing those that are here grow from strength to strength, whether it is yourself, whether it is a Zerodha, or even a Paytm, which has entered the business.
See, market share, so we are too young to worry about. So we should worry about market share when the markets are saturated and we have a large player, number one, number two player. both the things are like far away. So markets are still growing very, very small right now. We are also a very young player, so we don't need to worry about competitors right now. We focus on our customers, a lot of new customers. We are expanding the market. Like most of our customers that come on Groww are not existing investors. They are the first time investors, right? So we are actually growing the market. So when you're growing the market, we don't focus too much on market share.
Can you give us an idea of the kind of volume of transactions that have been carried out in recent times on your platform?
Yeah. So in mutual funds, we do around like 2 to 2.5 lakh SIPs in a month. In stocks, we launched in June to 2020. We opened like around 1.8 million Demat accounts still since then. So yeah, I think decent, like good growth we have seen over the last few years.
Now, Lalit, you're also, of course, benefiting from the global bull run, right, which is taking place in almost every asset class. So, party to ho rahi hai, but how long can it continue? And then how will you also make sure you can keep up the momentum the best that you can at the end of a bull run? I'm sure those are some of the questions that the very investors who gave you checks today would have asked.
Absolutely. So I think startups, so Warren Buffett said, right, the market tailwinds are there, and there has been a lot of tailwinds for last many years. How long would it stay? How will it impact us or anybody else? How other startups? And those kind of questions, like very, very hard to answer in my opinion, because whether like last year, just imagine like last Jan, Feb, or, we did not know how this pandemic will play out. We did not even know that we will have to sit at home, and we did not even know that markets would boom like this, how economy will shape up and so on. So the best we can do is be prepared. So what we do is, as an org, what we are trying to do is to have offering from various risk levels. So right from very, very low risk products to very high risk products. So based on investors' preference and their risk tolerance, they should be able to invest anywhere. And like we continue thinking about de-risking ourselves based on the market situation. How it shapes up, yeah, it's like probably my opinion does not mean anything.
Okay. The other thing I want to ask you is, and when I did read the press release, you've got a check now, including from Tiger Global. Tiger Global has also invested in Upstocks, which is also backed by Ratan Tata. Maybe futuristic, but I would not be doing my job as a journalist if I were not to ask you. Can a consolidation be on the cards? Because we do know that global investors like that to happen. And exit is, of course, very, very important for them.
I would not want to comment on that. I think we are charting our own territory, our own path, right? And don't like to comment on other players, but we are super focused on what we want to do, and we'll continue. We have been working hard for last so many years, and we'll continue doing that. Again, like what happens is, like we want to build one of the largest internet finance company in India. We are committed to that.
So will you look at other products as well, whether it could be insurance, for example, or NPS products? Like, is that the idea?
Absolutely.
Become a full-fledged financial services firm as much as you can.
Yes. So idea is that for my customer, whatever they want to invest. So first thing is investing is the focus. Like investing is our primary positioning, right? So mutual funds, stocks, gold. Like someday we will be able to tokenize, let's say, real estate also. There's regulators we are getting more and more like forward looking and more tech friendly, right? Someday I would be able to buy over 10,000 plots somewhere, or let's say someday government will launch its own centralized digital currency, or there will be new kind of investment. There's debt, a lot of debt. Retail participation in debt is very, very low, right? Like there's so much to innovate in financial products, right? So we'll continue to do that. And while then few years down the line, we would get into other like insurance and NPS, as you said, as well.
My final question to you, like I said, we've seen mushrooming of startups. We've seen, because of the bull run, all of those in the brokerage business become bigger and stronger. So if I were to ask you, what is your differentiator? How do you stand apart from, let's say, a Zerodha or a Paytm Money or an Upstocks? What would you say?
See, I think everybody has their own, like, approach, different way. And I won't say like one is better than the other or something. I think everybody has created their own like customer. So when we say customer base, it's not one customer base. There are so many different kind of personas, and there are certain kind of people who just love Groww. They love our simplicity. They love our transparency. They love doing it themselves. Like, we don't advise, and like they talk about us to all their friends, right? We focus on that customer. There are other folks who are also doing good. Everybody seems to be doing good, right? And they are also certain customer base. So that's how I think it always is. We are the simplest. We are the most. We are transparent, and our customers love us.
With that, here's wishing you and the entire team at Groww all the very best. Thank you so much for taking the time out. A big congratulations once again.
Thank you so much, Nanta. Thank you so much. Yeah.